Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final day of the OpenNebula Conference 2024. As you might have seen on the program, today is devoted to our main innovation projects, and especially to the COGNIT project, which is a Horizon Europe project that we coordinate since early 2023. Well, today you're going to be I will be providing an introduction to the project, and you will also see some of the features of the technology that we produced. And there will also have a couple of live panels with some of the partners in industry and research partners we have in the COGNIT consortium. So welcome. My name is Alberto Martí. I'm the VP of Open Source Innovation at OpenNebula Systems. I'm also directly involved in the COGNIT project as part of the work we do at European level. As you know, OpenNebula Systems has a very peculiar approach to European projects. We really use them as a mechanism to speed up the development of some of the main features of OpenNebula. As we understand, different needs and different requirements will come up in the near future. So we use these projects to actually advance in innovative features for the product that some of you might already be using in its beta versions. So as I mentioned, this day today, this COGNIT Day is supported. This is an initiative supported by the European Commission as part of the Cloud-Edge Continuum Horizon Europe project. So as you know, in general, this project, but also most of the innovation projects that we carry out, coordinate at OpenNebula Systems are based on the idea that there is actually a shift in the computing paradigm. We're moving from the centralized cloud to the hyper decentralized edge computing environment. And here you have on the screen some of the benefits that we see as we move away, or we expand, let's say, the management of IT infrastructures from the data centers to this the limits, the edge of the network. We see a number of immediate benefits for the users and also for the market itself in terms of opening up, for instance, the cloud infrastructure market to many other different actors, not just the typical few hyperscalers that we see dominating the tech industry or the cloud industry. So what are the main challenges for a tool like OpenNebula that, as you know, comes back in the day from being an infrastructure as a service solution for data centers in a private cloud environment? The challenge is to be able to automate and manage all this complexity, all this potentially dozens of new cloud and edge infrastructure providers with thousands of nodes that are expected to be distributed around the world. For instance, in Europe, by 2030, the European Commission expects to have at least 10,000 edge nodes available in the market. So that for a tool like OpenNebula, which is already very well adapted to this very distributed environment, but still it comes with some requirements in terms of automation and smart orchestration of the workloads and the provisioning of resources, this dynamic provisioning of resources and optimizing which nodes to use, where to allocate workloads, how to aggregate these workloads in specific locations to save energy or money. So all these tasks, all these challenges we are addressing through the European research and innovation projects like COGNIT, for instance. As you know, OpenNebula Systems has a long history of incorporating research and innovation into the project and bring some real actual benefits to the users of the technology. So this is just a quick overlook of the different things that we've been doing. As you might have already seen in the previous talks, one of the main projects is what we call the IPSI, Cloud Infrastructure and Services. This is by far the largest European open source project in history. It's 3,000 million euros, and OpenNebula Systems is one of the few companies, direct participants in this European project. It involves 12 member states, so we are very well positioned in there. We are also the chairing company of the industry ecosystem in this big pan-European initiative. So we, as you see, we are very much into both leveraging European projects to improve the product and bring benefits to our users, but also contributing back to the ecosystem and bringing out technology, open source technology, to many other users and integrators and partners in the market, so they can use it for their own purposes and businesses. So, just a quick overlook. You will find this in the OpenNebula.io innovation webpage. The most iconic. We have many other projects, but the most iconic projects, European projects in which we are involved right now. The Nexus Forum Coordinator and Support Action, where we work with the Commission to identify technological priorities for Europe in cloud and edge computing. Emerald on cybersecurity and compliance on some of the cybersecurity certification schemes for cloud environments. The COGNIT project that I will mention in more detail in a second. 6G Sandbox, we're also using OpenNebula to support the deployment of testbeds for advanced 5G and 6G environments. The IPSI Cloud, important project of common European interest on cloud infrastructure and services that I already mentioned. It's going to be running till 2026 with a great impact in the market and also in OpenNebula in terms of new features. And also the role that we have as chairing company of the Cloud-Edge working group of the so-called Alliance, the European Alliance for Industrial Data Edge and Cloud. This is an initiative directly supported and sponsored by the European Commission in terms of organizing the European industry around, again, the priorities for co-investment in these technologies that Europe needs to build a European edge cloud. We are talking here about, you will see at some point that, in different environments, in different talks, you might come across these concept of digital sovereignty, technological sovereignty. Even if you are, if you're not in the European context, I'm sure this resonates. So we're working in that sense. So we're making sure that open source technologies are really able to strengthen the digital sovereignty of different countries and different companies and reduce their dependencies and reduce the risk of vendor locking. As you know, open source sometimes is produced by very large corporations, and they deploy different mechanisms, let's say, or strategies for actually getting the customers and users into a vendor locking situation. We want to avoid that. So we want to avoid that open source, even if a technology is open source, that happens. So we are working with a number of partners, mainly in Europe, but also other locations to work on that, to facilitate that these skills are developed across Europe and in other countries, in other regions, but also across different sectors and different companies, to make sure that they can actually use open source and modify open source and adapt it, and they don't really depend on third parties. So the COGNIT project is actually one of the most interesting projects that we have right now. It's we coordinate a very interesting consortium here, in Industrial and Research Consortium, with partners in Sweden, Belgium, Italy, Germany, Spain, Poland. So it's a very interesting project in which we are building. We're using OpenNebula as a core technology for creating this new function as a service and serverless framework, where applications are able, and the devices and edge applications are able to very easily offload pieces of code to the Cloud-Edge Continuum. So we are creating this abstraction of Cloud-Edge infrastructure that can be used by an edge application, or the developer of one of these edge applications, to offload parts of this code. So to make sure that specific parts of the code of the application that's running on a device, because of the limitations of the device and computing capabilities, or otherwise, they can upload this code to a much more powerful infrastructure resource that's ideally nearby. We're also looking at different challenges here in terms of optimization of the whole deployment, the allocation of specific resources to specific applications when they are required by the developer of the device. We're looking at talking about GPU, ensuring low latency requirements, cybersecurity requirements, but also very interesting situations where, for instance, the device, you see here that's a traffic light, but sometimes the devices in some of the use cases are actually moving around. So they are rovers, or they are expected to be like trucks and things like that, that then the device itself is moving. So the resources, the Cloud-Edge resources they need have to also be allocated dynamically to make sure that whatever workload is helping or supporting this device in the processing of some bits of the applications or some bits of the data they are producing, that workload stays as close as possible to the original device. So we're looking at very, very interesting scenarios in terms of research, but also helping us improve OpenNebula with some interesting features that are applicable and usable, we hope, to the broader community. So as I was saying, it's a project in which one of the main novelties is that we are building let's say an envelope, but a method for OpenNebula itself to be able to incorporate or integrate external smart orchestrators. So we are going beyond the traditional scheduler of OpenNebula. The idea is that for being able to manage all these complexities that I was mentioning before, in terms of dozens of new providers, thousands of different edge nodes, different architectures, different locations, different capabilities, we need to improve the logic of how OpenNebula manages these resources and allocates resources and places VMs in one node, moves them around, this kind of stuff. So we are building now the tools for OpenNebula to be able to incorporate external third-party orchestrators, improved orchestrators that might bring these capabilities to the scheduling logic of OpenNebula. So in this case, we're looking at how to manage all this optimization. Running out of time also. How to make sure that OpenNebula can actually manage all these different requirements dynamically without actual physical intervention or manual intervention from the cloud administrators, and how all this can be automated as much as possible to make the life of cloud admins easier. Optimization is an important factor here. So we're talking about energy optimization, so reduce the energy consumption of the whole environment, but also cyber security, so responding to different threats and anomalies, and detecting these anomalies and reacting, but also reacting dynamically to issues that might happen, that might come up from the infrastructure itself. So ensuring that the quality of service and the continuity of these services automatically if something happens with the underlying infrastructure. So I invite you to have a look at the project. There's a first prototype already available, where you can already install and deploy the COGNIT framework on-prem, start aggregating some resources, and use the device client that we've produced for Python from your applications start using this Cloud-Edge Continuum, this logic that we've created for your devices to be able to upload some bits of code to the COGNIT framework. Also, if you are operating in some of these domains, just to let you know that this project comes with 4 specific use cases where companies that are specialized in these sectors are already using some of the technologies that they have in place, or some of the applications that they normally run, or the environments where they normally deploy these solutions. They're incorporating this serverless paradigm to their solutions and already testing how the concept of Cloud-Edge Continuum, but also this serverless framework is helping them to improve the performance of their applications and increase the capabilities of, for instance, wildfire detection, environmental sensors, or traffic lights, smart city deployments, or energy meters. Also, as I mentioned in the cybersecurity use case, for instance, the rovers or vehicles that are moving around and need this live anomaly detection. So very interesting use cases. I invite you to have a look at this. Thank you very much, and hope to see you around. Stay for the rest of the event, and thank you for your attention, and keep in touch. Thank you.